Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on my gaming channel. So I'm gonna do another versus video, like something versus something, like after 2 years ago when I published Calm Oceans versus Rough Oceans. Today I'm gonna be talking about school trips versus family trips. So guys, with this video, I'm going to give you guys some statements and some explanations of why I would rather go with family trips as a point to discover the subject that I'm talking about in this video. So I would rather pick family trips as a fraction of 65% because in family trips, like, you can't even schedule for some events during the trip. You get to have more freedom. Like, for example, you can't even wake up at 6 a.m. on some days, and some other days you can just sleep until 11 a.m. if it's your vacation. And you can decide whether or not to not have breakfast. You can decide whether or not your free time, like during your free time, you can go to the pool, you can do other activities you want. You don't have too much limits, and you can basically decide the other parts of the day that you would like to do, and some other interesting things. Like, you can even watch movies. You can even make a schedule to watch movies for a different day during the trip, or especially going to clothes shopping. Well, when it comes to the school trip, obviously there's a schedule being made, like before the start of the trip, and there's basically no free time nearly. And free time, when it comes to free time, it's pretty limited, and you cannot do everything you want. Like, there's not that kind of luxury to do as much. So let me tell you that I'm going to start with the trip that we just returned from the US, 33 days trip. We were free at one point, like going to In-N-Out Burgers at night, going to some other places at night. The next day we had some kind of business meeting to do, but the other parts of the day we were completely free. And the day after was my father's birthday. We were shopping some birthday cakes, and yeah, most of the time we were free. So yeah, you have a lot of freedom there, is I'm actually trying to say there. On 4th of July, we decided to watch the fireworks in the crowd in front of 200 people. And although it wasn't mandatory, we were checking out open houses during the trip. Like, we had the freedom to check some of the houses. And we had even scheduled some nights for films. Like, we've been watching the film Toy Story 4 and The Lion King on 2 different occasions throughout the trip. So that does mean that you have the luxury to do anything throughout family trips. Basically, you would even schedule a date to go shopping. Like, we went to shopping slimes a few occasions, and some squishy toys and some animals, and especially going to shopping malls to get some like different kind of clothes. There was a day that it came to university orientation day, and it wasn't really planned too strictly. It was actually a fun visit, and then when we left, the freedom continued. So when we would pick the days going to shopping, the days going to films, it was actually like a free kind of thing. And especially when I went to the pool and did some other activities, like over there, you can spend even 12 hours just doing anything you can without having to put yourself under a very big limit. But let me tell you, the last school trip that I went to 2 years ago, it was mainly for hiking, which was actually the hardest part of the trip, and I'm going to give you several reasons why. But first we'll start from I'll tell you guys day by day about that trip. So it came as just another school trip, and we went to the airport, we got some stuff to eat, we were on the plane, we just checked in hotels, and the first night at dinner time was like pretty boring, pretty tiring. We didn't get our room numbers until at least 10:30 p.m. and it was just basically spending 1 hour at the same old room, and then like there were pretty much limits. I mean, there weren't like lights out hours, like you could sleep even at midnight, but you would have to wake up at 7 a.m. You would have to get down to the area at 7:30 sharp, and breakfast time would be 8. From 8 until 9, or whenever you had your breakfast until 9, you have to get prepared for the day. And like you can just go to your room one final time and check what you need and get the stuff, and then you don't come back to hotel until like 5 p.m. That's what it was like for us. Because on the first day we had walked around some mountains, we have climbed around. We went, not me, but some other students in the group went. Like some of them like went right until the top, and I was taking pictures of them. The teachers were too. And the next thing that we went to, I discovered some other stuff, and I was trying to take a picture of when I was going up the hill, but the teacher tried to not tell me not to, but he was like, hey, you can take a picture later. And then we went to some kind of beach the next place. It was fun, but it was just like too hot out there, and when we were sitting it was also a bit really hard. The sofas weren't as comfortable as I thought it would be. We had visited some kind of more theoretical place outside, and we just spent like all day walking around, especially the bus was too tight. The bus couldn't hold like too many people, or it was just a small bus that only up to 30 people can get into. It was around that number of people that went in the trip, in my experience. The following day we did some rafting and some other kind of water sports, which was also a bit like a challenge. I never had done rafting before, but the day after that was the hardest part of the trip. Like that day we had to check out of the hotel, like this time we had to gather around like 30 minutes earlier, and then we got on the bus, and then you gather around the mountains at 10 a.m. and we start our hike. You know, that was the hardest part of the trip, because like when you go hiking with your instructor, then it takes pretty long, and you can get happy once you get half an hour of rest, but you have to continue it again, whether it goes downhill or uphill. We had to go half of the hike uphill, and then most of the second half of the hike fortunately turned out to be downhill. And guys, let me tell you, at the end of the hike it was exhausting. I was pretty exhausted. We came to the part of the mountain where there was just the top of the mountain, and dinner sucked over there too. The following day was not so bad. We didn't have too many limits, we just went around. But whenever we got off the bus down the mountain, we never returned to the bus until 8. And we went to just a different hotel, and yeah, that was it. And again, we had to wake up at 7. And so yeah, school trips are sometimes pretty limiting and exhausting. Well, family trips are not so limiting, although sometimes they can turn exhausting. So guys, you have got the point of it, right? That's going to be it for this video explaining stuff. I'll see you in another video, which can be a gaming video, another type of video, but bye.